So hi, I'm Alexandra Van Heulen, the founder of Lead3. My ambition with this video series, Leading Through Uncertain Times, is to bring you authentic and inspiring stories and insights from leaders and entrepreneurs who are currently managing in the context of the COVID-19 crisis. Today, I'm talking to Georges Chakar, the CEO of Link Advisory, a Dubai-based consulting firm, which aims at accelerating the transformation of leaders and organizations to achieve excellence and higher performance. Before founding Link Advisory in 2015, George assumed several senior roles within leading organizations, such as the Tourism Development and Investment Company, the Interpublic Group, the Marriott Group, and the Hilton Group. So, George, welcome. Thank you for having accepted my invitation. I'm very, very pleased to be here with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexandra, for this lovely introduction. It's my pleasure to be here with you, and I'm looking forward to our session, actually.
We are currently facing quite unprecedented and quite amazing times. I believe that if someone would have told us early January that only 2 months and a half later, we would all be facing a global lockdown, a pandemic, probably anyone here would have said just impossible. We wouldn't have believed him. And here we are, and we all adapt to it at a global level, which is quite amazing to see as well. Now, I'm very curious. You, George, as a man, as a father, as a businessman, how have you been impacted by this crisis, by this COVID-19 crisis?
As you rightfully said it, Alexandra, from the start, we wouldn't have imagined that this is going to happen at any point in our, I would say, recent lives. We heard in history books and about recent plagues in the early centuries and so on, but we thought that with the advancement of healthcare and with the advancement of technology, that these are things that we would able to avoid. Now, what have happened is a big wake-up call. I believe personally that what have happened had to happen. It's a wake-up call on many levels. Me personally, leading a very busy life, traveling, life pace was very quick. The amount of focus was becoming, span of it smaller and smaller. Now the pandemic with this pause is giving me an opportunity to really pause and think and reflect. There was lots of uncertainties, lots of, I would say, starting from a panic mode to reflection mode to realization mode in this pandemic. That's how I think me personally and many people around the world felt when they were hit initially by this pandemic. So
what is this? Because you were speaking about pausing and reflecting. So what did that bring to you at an individual level? What kind of awareness came up to you by posing like that now?
Through this pose as an individual and as a leader of our organization or as a human being, it gave me the opportunity to really go inside first. I went through a process of, I would say, the first 1 week or 2 weeks. It wasn't an easy process. I describe it as an ugly process, but it's a blessing at the same time. Ugly process because I was in a place of super vulnerability, not knowing what's coming. I, like any other human, we tend to believe that we are in control of our destiny, of our future, although things are lined up and we just take initiatives and react to what is lined up. So that was like a moment of truth for me, is that I need to go back to my present, live my present, really benefit from every single time with my family, look really at my community, look at going inside of myself and ask myself, what's my message? What am I supposed to do? What's next for me?
So a whole new discovery phase. And I very much like you said something about what's my message? What's my purpose? And that triggers my curiosity. And actually, I want to ask you as well, based on that pose and that reflection, would you like sharing with us like what came up for you about what's your purpose and how you want to, what's the impact you want to have?
It's a beautiful question, and I take deep breaths when I answer it. It's funny that you know, as a not only as an individual but as a company, our purpose is, you know, for purposeful life. And you know, like they say, the carpenter door is not necessarily fixed. So that pause allowed us, you know, as a company, as colleagues, and as an individual, me myself, to look in and really reprioritize my, I would say, relook at my priorities and look at my life purpose. What's my message? And it was clear for me that my message is, you know, to be that, I would say, guiding force to help people and organizations to find clarity and attain their, I would say, wildest dreams. So yeah, that was even much more clear to me, much than ever.
And so I was wondering, like a businessman in this kind of situation, how do you lead your team, the organization through these kind of periods? And to what extent is it important to be vulnerable as a leader in that kind of situations as well? I'm just thinking back to a discussion we had before.
It's a beautiful question. And the way I see vulnerability, I mean, like any other human, I try to hide vulnerabilities at times. Sorry. Yet vulnerability, as the definition of vulnerability is a driving force to building any connection. It brings trust and it brings belonging, you know. That's what vulnerability is all about. It's giving myself permission to openness to experiences, either with people or with uncertainties. And we are exactly today in an uncertain times. For me, vulnerability is not being able to know what's coming, is looking at all the risks that are happening in front of me and not being able to have any control over. This is all about vulnerability. And at first, it was really not necessarily a beautiful feeling. However, this is a huge opportunity for me as an individual and for us as human beings, because through vulnerabilities, opportunities start to rise if we look at it in a shift of mindset. So my mindset was shifted through this vulnerability, and lots of open, authentic, transparent conversations happened with me, whether on a family level or on a business level. Talking to my business partner 3-4 times a week, sharing those thoughts and sharing those vulnerabilities, looking at, yes, we cannot control of what is coming, but what can we do today? What is the action that I can do today, you know, with regards to leading in these times? I think empathy is very important. You know, having these open conversations with our colleagues, with our, family members or community, because everyone is living in uncertain times. Everyone is feeling scared, is feeling, I would say, insecure of their future. So leading with empathy is very important. Showing that care and that understanding is, I would say, the first cornerstone in recovering from such a pandemic. Then from there, you can go into embracing that uncertainty. And when you start embracing, then you start, you know, I would say the movement starts, you know, the engine starts running, and then you can start going forward. So yeah, so these are the types of conversations that we had internally, really open, really fully vulnerable. I am as vulnerable as anyone in the company. I am as vulnerable as anyone out there. I have lots of risks in front of me, lots of uncertainties in front of me. I was very open about it, and everyone else was open about it. And we all together came up with a few solutions here and there. And it's like we have in our consulting, I would say, journey, we start with discovery phase, then we go into define phase, then create phase, then design, then engage. So that was the phase of discovery for me, of self-discovery. And And it was a blessing, actually, because many things emerged out of this. And I believe today I passed the define phase, and I'm at the design phase. Before I start creating with my peers, with my partners, my colleagues at work, even on a family level, community level. And on that note, for example, to give you a small example, we had few meetings with our colleagues at work, and we started to see how consultancy is going to work after this pandemic. Obviously, behaviors of people are changing, starting with me. New trends will emerge, obviously. And we need to be ready to that stage. So we started to look at what can we create, that could serve us in the future. That all the businesses now are really at a very high risk in terms of commercial viabilities and so on. So looking at what do we need to create, and here we go. We decided that the old traditional consulting, I would say, approach is no more valid. We are looking at more of a type of a product driven by timeline and clear KPIs and clear achievements, because all the companies that will emerge after this COVID, they need help after the pandemic, and they need help in a very quick manner, very highly measurable manner, and not an open-ended process like consultancy used to work in the past. So we went and we started an exercise, all of us, to source this type of products or this type of offering. And it looks like we have landed something, and we are in the middle of a final conversation, hopefully to bring that to our region so we can offer it to clients and support SMEs, young entrepreneurs, and so on. In Link Advisory, as an organization, we have a motto, which is people-driven transformation. So we believe that people are key to anything. So going forward, I believe the world is going to be demanding the type of individuals who can really lead transformation, who can really adapt, who can not only have IQ, but also LQ, leading through love and through heart. Through intuition, and that's what is coming our way. So as a leadership, I would say certified leadership and coach, I believe that I am still evolving as a human being. The whole humanity is evolving as a human being. I acknowledge that, and I am really curious, and I have a post-it note always beside me at anything I do, is be curious like a kid. So like a small kid, that's a blessing to be curious always, because with curiosity, creativity comes with curiosity, innovation comes with curiosity. Your journey becomes much more interesting and much more motivating and much more challenging. I want to say probably as well that do what you love, look at really what makes you happy. Do what you love. I've not been acknowledging or honoring a lot of values that I had, but now that I had this opportunity of the second chance, I re-looked at my values and I really want to live them, because that's out of principle. When we live our values on a daily basis, we are motivated to achieve and motivated to be happy and motivated to have fun. And the world is giving us all those tools, all those opportunities today with the online, with the digital world. We can have fun, we can work from home, we can work from anywhere in the world. So yeah.
George, as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, what are the key insights that you want to share today with the entrepreneurs that are watching us?
My advice to all entrepreneurs and small and medium organizations is to, number one, take a deep breath. Number two, lead with empathy. Number three, lead with purpose and values. This is where the second chance opportunity that we spoke about earlier. Communication is key to fill that void that is happening. Identify all your stakeholders. Make sure that you acknowledge everybody when you communicate, from your suppliers to your clients, to your employees, to your family, to your community, to everybody. And this is how brands needs to look like, responsibly and accountable. Be bold and dare to reinvent your model if there is a need, because what is coming after this pandemic not necessarily is going to be the same as before. Speak to your peers and ask them what they are doing and how they are doing it. And get a coach if you need to. Me, myself, I'm a coach, and I got a coach during this period, so there is no harm of getting a coach. As an organization, as Link Advisory, we have created something we call the Compass to Recovery. And this is a program that we are offering to entrepreneurs and organizations who are looking to recover after this pandemic. And we are offering it on a pro bono basis. It's a 4 steps approach. And we're happy to, if anyone would like to get in touch with us to benefit from this pro bono offer, it will be really great to support.
Thank you so much for this offer. That's really lovely of you, really, thank you. Thank you, George, for all these sharings and these very, very valuable insights. It was a real pleasure for me to spend this moment with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alexandra. The pleasure is all mine, and looking forward to our next encounter.
As well, and I'm looking forward to see how things are unfolding for you. Thank you, George. Bye.
Thank you.